When I first started running, I wasn't running for the same reason that I'm running nowadays. I wasn't running for growth, I was running to cope. I was running to cope with life. Because around September 2024, when I first started running 1 kilometer every single day, no matter what, no matter if it was hot, no matter if it was cold, no matter in the snow, no matter what. I wasn't running for growth. I was running to cope. I was going through a really hard time in my life, and I decided, you know what? I've tried breathing exercises, I've tried working out, but I haven't tried running. Let me try running. I saw what running did for my dad. I saw how running transformed my dad's life. I saw what running did for my dad. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try to run. I'm gonna start to run. I started running 1 kilometer every single day. In the beginning, I was only running to cope. I was only running to cope with life. But that led to me running. That led to me running my first 5K trail run. That led to me running my first 10K gravel run. That led to me running my first half marathon. That led to me running my first marathon. I stopped running by running. And here's my story. April 2022 is a month I don't think I'm ever going to forget. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that month, because in that month, I moved to a brand new country. On that month, I left 12 years of my life behind. On that month, I moved to a brand new country with only half of my family, leaving my brother and my dad behind. And that month, I started a 1.5 year depression. On that month, a 1.5 year depression started. The depression I thought was never going to end. I remember during that 1.5 years, I truly felt alone. I truly felt on my own. I remember asking God, why do I need to go through so much pain just to never gain? I truly felt like I was in the lowest point that I possibly can be, and there was a question that always went through my head, and that was, why me? But after trying breathing exercises, after trying, cold plunges and trying all these things, I finally realized that maybe the answer is closer than I think. And I remember looking at my dad, and I was like, you know what? My dad coped through life by running. Maybe I can stop running from my life by running. That's exactly what I did. I started running. I remember around September 2024, I started running 1 kilometer every single day just to cope with life. Not for any goal, not for, running a marathon. No, just to cope with life. And 1K led to another 1K, another 1K, and my time started getting better and better and better and better. I remember that first 1K. I remember running that 1K in over 7 minutes and being completely gassed out. But I didn't think about the time. I didn't think about the pace. I didn't think about the distance. I thought about I went running. And I remember I went running no matter if it was cold, no matter if it was hot, no matter in the snow, no matter what the weather was, I was running. And I remember January 2025, my dad signed me and him up for our first 5K trail run. And I remember in the beginning, I was like, I don't gotta train. I remember seeing this video that my dad sent to me, a video of him training in the snow, a video of him literally running whenever he had all the reasons not to be running. And I said, you know what? I should be training. And I started training. I remember running my first 5K in 29 minutes and taking down that time to 26 minutes in literally just 3 weeks. And I remember that day that I ran that 26-minute 5K. I was in the US. I remember telling my dad, I did it. I ran in 26 minutes. And I felt so happy. I felt so good. And literally just around a week later, I ran my first ever 5K trail run, and it was hard, it was brutal. I wanted to give up, but I discovered one thing throughout that run, that is, our only limit is our mental limit, our physical limit. We're capable of so much more than we think.
Thank you. Yo.
So a couple days after running my first 5K trail run, my dad came to me and he asked me, next week, do you want to run a 5K or a 10K? And after thinking about it, I decided, you know what, I'm going to run a 10K, although I never ran anything close to that distance before. The most I've ever ran at that time was 5K. And I remember showing up at 10K, and I remember I just started running. And my body started hurting already from the beginning, but I realized something, and that is, you know what, it's me versus me. And that day I ran my first 10K in 57 minutes. And I remember a few weeks after running my first 10K, I was in Chile, still running about 3 kilometers every single day, 4 kilometers every single day, nothing too crazy. But then my mom signed me up for my first half marathon. And then I started running 6K every single day. And then I remember running my first 19K in about 1 hour, 57 minutes. And what's crazy is I went from running 1K to running 6K every single day in just a few months. But I wasn't done there. So I remember then I ran my first half marathon. I ran my first half marathon in 1 hour, 57 minutes. And I remember I ran that first half marathon, I felt absolutely great. But it was hard. It was freaking hard. I ran my first half marathon in 1 hour, 57 minutes, or 1 hour, 58 minutes. I'm not 100% sure, but I went from running my first 5K trail run on February 17th, 2025, to running my first half marathon on March 30th, 2025. And I remember this day like yesterday, April 2025. I'm packing to go to the US. I'm packing to go on vacation. And my mom signs me up for my first marathon. And that's when I realized this planned vacation that I had, well, it's not really going to be a vacation. So on that vacation, I'm not going to lie, I didn't run every single day. I wasn't able to run every single day. But the days that I was able to run, I ran. Because something I learned throughout the vacation is 100 bad runs are better than 1 great run. It's better to stay consistent than only run the great runs and only run the good runs. And I'm never gonna forget this day, May 18th, 2025. I woke up that morning, I was stressed, I was nervous, but I was also excited. I remember I lined up at the start line of my first marathon, the Santiago Marathon. And I remember I also crossed the finish line of that same marathon. I finished my first marathon at 16 years old, under 4 hours 30. I finished my first marathon with a time of 4 hours 17 minutes. And I did that only 16 years old. I went from running my first 5K to running my first marathon in only 4 months. And I'm making this video to share with all of you guys that whenever you really believe in yourself and you believe in your dreams, you can accomplish anything. I'm making this video to share with you all and tell you all that our only limit is our mental limit. And we're really capable of so much more than we think. I'm making this video to let you all know and show you all, and literally just, I don't really know how to explain it, but just to like, give my story and really just show how running truly saved me. I stopped running by running.